Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NPC and IFBB Pro League Vice President. We're going to go over the Bikini division at the Arnold UK. So in first, we had Vanya. Vanya again brought a great package to this show. Overall, I think it was very close between her and Tara for first and second. Now for Vanya, what she needs to work on is she still can add a little bit more depth to her glutes, like I said before. And again, just being careful in the upper body of the muscularity. You can streamline it just a little bit more. But overall, she has very good balance between her upper and her lower body. And the conditioning, again, was spot on for her. The front pose, she has a very nice hourglass shape to her physique. You can see the fullness, to all the muscles with nothing, too conditioned. And then again, in the back pose, she's improved her back pose a lot. Just needs a little bit more depth to the glutes, but everything else is on point. In second with Tara, I think she improved a lot from the Olympia last year and just in general from last year. Now for her glutes were great in the back pose. I think she needs still to bring up her legs just a little bit to match with her glutes in the front and in the back pose because her glutes are actually so good. So she had pretty thin legs last year. I think she definitely made improvements there. And just a touch more, I think, would help with that, leg and glute balance in both the front and the back poses. In the front pose, I still think she can work on bringing in the waistline a little bit more. Again, I think this definitely improved, and her front pose was improved from last year. She just needs to continue to do what she's done over the last year, and it's only going to make her, a stronger competitor. But overall, a very, very good showing from her. In third place, we had Marie-Eve from Canada. The main thing for Marie is she needs to bring up her legs a little bit to match her glutes. If you look at the comparison with her with the rest of the top four, you could see in her front pose that her glute is really overpowering her legs. And she was even standing next to Tara at one point. And like I said, Tara can stand to bring her legs up just a little bit more. And Marie's legs are smaller than Tara's, while her glute is really overpowering in that front pose. She can still tinker with this front pose a little bit more to make it so her physique flows just a little bit better and there's more balance overall shown in this front pose. From the back pose, she was very, very strong. I think, again, the legs could come up just a little bit for that glute to leg balance in the back pose. But overall, a great hourglass shape. She worked on bringing her shoulders down. They used to be overpowering. I think she brought that more in line with the rest of her physique. And I think she had a great showing here that shows she's a strong contender going forward this year. And then finally, in fourth place, we had Angelica. Angelica still needs to work on the same thing. She still really needs to focus on bringing the glutes up and having that overall glute fullness and density that the girls ahead of her had. I think she tried to come in a little bit tighter to show that off at this show, but it made her also conditioning-wise a little bit hard overall from the front. So she needs to find that fullness balance with both the conditioning and with the glutes. Once that happens, her front pose is still very, very strong. She has a great hourglass shape, great balance overall, upper to lower body in her physique, and also just in the lower body as well with the legs to the glutes. Very good balance, still a very, very pleasing front pose. So it's just really working on the conditioning, not getting too conditioned, and improving the glutes. She can keep doing this. She just got back on stage, so I'm sure she's going to keep improving as time goes on. And there you have it for the top four in Bikini. And we'll also review fitness right now. For fitness, I'm just going to focus on the top two, especially because that result reversed from Columbus 2 weeks ago. So what were the main differences? The main difference was Jacqueline, physique-wise, came in much, much better. Her conditioning was much better, and her posing was also much better. Now, she still needs to work on the same things with her physique. She needs a little bit more muscle to her legs, and she needs to keep improving the width and also the depth of her back. But just the way she was posing and her conditioning, that's what elevated her way farther this time around. Ariel, again, just needs to keep, streamlining her waist from the front, but also coming in a little bit more conditioned as well. Now, when it goes to the routine for both of them, Jacqueline's routine was very, very clean. And in my opinion, she performed it better than she did in Columbus. Now, for Ariel, it was not as clean. She was having some difficulty and some struggles doing her normal, her strength moves, which are obviously incredibly difficult, but the way she performed in Columbus was not the same as she performed here in the UK. She was struggling to, hit some of the moves that she did in Columbus. And when these routines and these competitors are that close, every little difference counts. And when it seems like you're struggling or laboring through the routine, it's very easy to pick out and to tell. So I'm sure Ariel knows that as well. But her routine in Columbus was unbelievable. Still a great routine here, but we have to differentiate between the two. And in my mind, that's what made me, I had Ariel in first, Jacqueline in second in the routine round 2 weeks ago. Here I flipped it. I had Jacqueline in first and Ariel in second in the routine round. You can see that, even in the routine scores, it was still super close between the two. I think it was 14-16. So overall, that 2-point difference wasn't enough to overcome the difference from the physique round. And that's what had Jacqueline taking the show. But again, two very strong competitors that I'm sure are going to make the Olympia extremely exciting.